so good to have you back. It's a Weekend Politics, and I'll just move straight to introducing my guest on the show tonight. I have with us a fine gentleman, a very refined guy, Mr. David Hakim. He's the National Director of Strategy, Deployment and Implementation. Relax, Tinubu is fixing Nigeria. Mr. David, so good to have you on Weekend Politics. Good evening.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's really talk to Nigerians and cross-Nigerians watching us right now. Give us a brief about the Relax, Tinubu is fixing Nigeria.
Well, thank you, Joseph. Relax, Tinubu is fixing Nigeria is an organization that is saddled with the responsibility of spreading the good news, right? Spreading the good news of what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been doing in Nigeria for the past, 3 years. Now, there's a lot that has been ongoing that people have not spoken about. So Relax Tinubu is fixing Nigeria is here to let people know. It's here to sensitize people. It's here to spread the gospel to the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. Get it down to the grassroots. Tell people what the government is doing. Tell people what has changed in the past couple of years, right? Let people know what's going on, and that's exactly what we're doing. We have this one sole responsibility: telling people what has happened, what has changed, what has been different, and letting people have the right information to make their decision if this government is the best they've seen in 20 years or is the worst they've seen in forever.
Okay, now for this organization, we noticed about a year ago or so.
Yeah.
So how has the strategy been, to reach out to Nigerians, all through the length and breadth of Nigeria?
I'll tell you what, Joseph, that's a very good question. You see, the problem we have in Nigeria, well, I'll start with the problem. The problem we have in Nigeria is that we are not ready to hear the truth, especially people in the grassroots. Information has been misinterpreted. Information is not sent to the grassroots. A lot of people live in a world of their own, right? Now, what we have done is to have a bulletin with over 200 achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We're going to have this spread around to the mosque, to the churches, to people's emails, to the homes, to workplaces. We're going to have this on the social media. We're already is all over social media. We're going to have this everywhere, just to ensure that even the laborer, the guy who is laying bricks, the guy who is cutting grass, the guy who is picking up dirt, the guy who's cleaning, the guy who is the carpenter around the block gets to hear this, and they know how this has impacted their craft in one way or the other.
All right. So far, how has it been? How has it been so far?
Well, it's been challenging. I'll tell you that. There's been a lot of bottlenecks here and there, but we are thriving. We are sending them the news. We're sending the information out there. I'll tell you this for free. Whenever there's truth, wherever there's light, darkness tries to cast a spell on it. But the truth. You know how it is. Light always overshadows at the end of the day. Always comes through, like the good book says.
Great. Now, Dave, let's quickly look at Tinubu. A lot of Nigerians seem to be dissatisfied with the administration. But from what the Relax Tinubu is fixing Nigeria is showing us, a lot of people should know what has happened in the last 3 years. So we like you to sound very loud to those Nigerians what has this administration at the national achieved to ensure that, look, 2027, give Mr. President a second chance.
2027, Joe.
Yeah.
I tell you what, President Tinubu does not need a second chance from Nigerians. Nigerians should beg President Tinubu to give them a second chance to help them. He's done a whole lot. I tell you what, President Tinubu is the Messiah God had sent to liberate Nigeria. And I pray that after he has done 8 years, God should find someone capable of continuing what he has done. Because the problem we have is continuity. Right? It's continuity. Now, I'm just going to touch on a few things that he has done. I mean, we all know about I had points, jotted down. There are over 200, 300, aspects he has touched in the couple of years, in the past years, right? And I'm just gonna go. I'll start with governance and finance. Then from there, I'll take you down to the economic and infrastructural reforms that our president has put in place. Then just right after, I'm gonna take you about social and development initiatives. Then I'll probably just land on reforms that he has put to continue nationwide help to people in the grassroots and local government and all of that, to the daily let's start with NELFund. Now, a lot of people don't know about NELFund. NELFund has been put in place to ensure that my brother, my sister, my nephew, my niece in my village that cannot afford tuition on a daily can go to school. And not just that, this is an interest-free loan. Interest-free. Now, show me anywhere in the world where we have an interest-free educational loan for the students. There's no. Just show me. And then you get to be paid stipends every month as a student. But we are not cashing into this because the information is not right. That's why Relax Tinubu is Fixing Nigeria is here to spread the gospel to the nooks and crannies, to every village, to every ward, to every local government, to every state, to let them know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has put something in place to help them. Now we don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to bore people with the details. I'm just going to highlight it. NELFund, Credit Corp, local government autonomy. Local government now have autonomies to have their money sent to them directly to be able to make an impact in their local government, because what we need is grassroots development. We need development in our local government, in our wards, because that is where governance really starts from. It starts from grassroots, and we need to put that in place. Now, I don't know if you heard about the Naira for crude policy that has been put in place. That has changed the dynamics of how we get to trade our crude. That policy has been top notch. A lot of people were not sure if that was going to come into play, but it did. Removal of subsidy was one major game changer. Now you could tell that back in the day, people would use the facade of subsidy and all of that to steal money, to whisk money out of Nigeria. But the president said no. As soon as he got into power, he said no, subsidy is gone. That's the first thing he said, because he knew that was the one thing that was stabbing us in the right abdomen. Subsidy is gone. With elimination of subsidy, our president was able to have more money to fund the states. And we can see what the states are doing with those funds. You can see what our governor, Senator Apostle Prince Bassey Tutu has done with the availability of more funds. We can see that. I mean, it's glaring. It's a season of sweetness. Everybody is happy. Everybody's talking about it. We're seeing giant strides. We're seeing the rejuvenation of Cross River State. We're seeing it, Joe. Can't you see that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about the tax bill has been passed. Let's talk about the non-oil exports that has gone up to 40% in 2 years. Let's talk about over $40 billion foreign investment that has come into Nigeria. I mean, can you beat that, Joe? Let's talk about the stock exchange that has gone haywire. There's been a boom in the stock exchange market. Can we talk about the trade surplus? Now, Joe, let me tell you this. 18 trillion naira in 2 years. 18 trillion. Fact check me, Joe. Fact check me. Now, states no longer have to borrow money to pay salaries. No more printing money for... Fuck. None of that is happening, Joe. None of that is happening. Now, we had passed the tax bill. You can imagine how that's going. Now, Joe, let me quickly take you down to the economic infrastructure reforms. We have livestock ministry, We have compressed natural gas, the CNG, which is trying to see how people can switch from relying solely on our crude, on petrol and on gas, to use what we have been wasting. Gas has just been flaring up and we've just been wasting it. And countries like Russia and other countries have leveraged on gas to be able to survive. Even the powerful countries like America. But we have just been, letting that go by. Now, Joe, talk about the coastal highway, Lagos to Calabar. That would be beautiful for Cross River State. Can you imagine transporting goods back and forth on a free express? One of the major issues we've had has been goods, transportation of goods, has been the road networks. Being able to connect straight now, when you go from Calabar all the way to Lagos, you're going through both ways, receiving and giving. It's beautiful. It's just going to increase, the whole economic strides of every state. Now, Joe, let's talk about the NNPC funds credited directly to our government, to their account. Before you'll hear that NNPC $30 billion had gotten missing. $20 billion has gotten missing, Joe. And now money is going directly to our accounts. TSA, mining reforms, enhanced maritime monitoring system, the MEMS. That's just something that people can't even think about. We've had the refineries activation. Dangote has come in, set up a big refinery. We are now refining our own goods. The Sokoto, Badagry, and other legacy roads that have been happening all around. Come on, Joe. Should we talk about the social development initiatives? There's a whole lot. Nutrition of 777 initiatives. The Cotton, Textile, and Garment Development Board. NIPOS, Agricultural Infrastructure and Joe, if I want to go through my list, it's a whole lot. But I'm just gonna. It's just a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
It's quite a whole lot. Now, quickly, like I said in my opener, that this is the season of primaries.
Yes.
And a lot of people are, heading straight up. A lot of parties are getting ready to, on seats. Mr. President, we have the Peter Obis. We have the Atiku Abubakars, we have the, I don't know how true it is that the former President Goodluck Jonathan will likely jump into the ring. Now, we have all of this, but what would be your major priorities? We have about 7 months to go to the presidential election. What would be the major priorities that the Relax Tinubu's Fixing Nigeria organization should put up to ensure that, look, they get, in your words, that Mr. President should be pleaded with to come back, for the second term? What would be your strategy in the next 7 months to see that, look, all of these that you've reeled out, Nigerians will see them and queue behind Mr. President come January 2027?
Well, Joe, without sounding cocky, because the Bible says pride comes before a fall, I would have said, Nigerians should be grateful to have President Bola Tinubu, like I said, beg him to come back. But without, being prideful, I would say that we are putting the work in place to let our brothers, our sisters, our countrymen, our fellow indigents in every local government, in every state, in every ward, to know that there's a whole lot our president has done. Now, you see, what our president has done has been bespoke to different geographical sectors. Now, the Lagos-Calabar road has a very, very, very different impact. The mining reforms has an impact on states that have, that are undergoing, mining activities. Now, states that are, have crude, different reforms. So he has carefully, you see, this president came prepared. He has been preparing for over a decade or 2 decades for this job. He's been preparing. Now, what I would say to people would be, wait for our newsletters. Wait for our messages. If you don't want to wait, go online, check it out. Go to our page, check us on Instagram, Relax Tinubu is Fixing Nigeria. We have it all put up there. Check our podcast. The messages are there. But for people who, cannot access the internet in the remote areas and all of that, I would say we are coming to you. We are coming to you. Sit tight. Don't be afraid. Wait for us. We're coming to you. We're going to touch everywhere.
I love that statement. We are coming to you. Now, let's quickly look at, Dave, the collaborations that you'll be having. Do you have collaboration with states and international partners to ensure that this vision is actualized?
Well, we're welcoming partnerships, everywhere from, both state, national, international. We're welcoming partners. Every organization, every individual, every company that says what we see, that feels what we feel, and believes in what we believe, to say that they're ready to advocate for what we are preaching. We're ready to accommodate that. Yes.
Okay, great. Now, quickly, let's get to know those challenges faced by your organizations.
Well, I wouldn't say there are challenges, but I would say there are hurdles that we need to jump on, and we would definitely jump over them. We'd talk about communication. We'd talk about ethnicity issues. We'd talk about religious crisis. We'd talk about all the things that we face, that every country faces, every political arena faces. But I mean, it's a walk in the park. Why? Because people speak in one voice. When they see that good is coming to them, people speak in one voice. It might not happen just now. The truth of what's going on is, right now there's a time of sowing. The time of reaping is nearly here. So people need to sit down. When you plant a seed, when you plant a mango seed, it might not germinate in 1 day or 2 days. It might not even germinate in 6 months, but in a couple of years, it will come through. So there are fruits that the president has planted. He has planted rice, he has planted beans, he has planted mango, he has planted orange, he has planted seeds that can germinate even in 3 months, and people are seeing it. But there are certain seeds that he has planted that might germinate in a year or 2 or 3 or 4, even 5 years. People need to be patient and watch that iroko tree come up. Watch that coconut tree spring up. Watch that mango tree spring up. There are some things that you just have to wait, because there's a planting season and there's a reaping season.
Absolutely. Okay, now, David, let's quickly let's take a look at the hardcore politics now. Relax Tinubu is Fixing Nigeria is indeed carrying out a campaign. So also the likes of the Obedience, they have their own campaign, though they have crisis over there, and a few others. Now, do you is your organization really worried about any threats coming from Peter Obi, coming from Atiku? Do you envisage any threats coming from heavyweights like that, political heavyweights?
Well, Joe, I'd like to correct you. These are not political heavyweights.
You think so? David, you think so? I hope you don't forget what Peter Obi had and what Atiku had in 2023.
Well, I would.
They're right. They're political.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you.
Are you threatened?
Joe, I'll tell you, we were not there as of then.
Okay.
We were not. It was a communication gap.
Okay.
I want to believe that the gospel was preached out to the Obedience, as we are preaching now.
Okay.
They would have converted and given their life to Christ. But we were the reverend fathers and the pastors and the apostles. We were in the game. We were not there to preach this gospel to them at that time, because what we were doing, we were trying to sort out issues that were directly there were bespoke issues, that we were trying to say, give President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a chance to come and show Nigeria what he's got to offer and what he's been planning for a couple of decades now. But at this point in time, we now have the gospel to preach. We have a Bible to preach.
And you're on ground.
And we're on ground.
So you feel, okay, and I quite understand your direction. So prior to 2023, they were heavyweights, but right at the moment, you feel that they are no longer heavyweights to challenge Mr. Tinubu?
I wouldn't say they're not heavyweights. What I would say is that, I think people gave them the wrong tags from the beginning.
Okay.
Right? I think these were guys who, had they had the right mindset, but I think their approach was wrong. Now, I'm very, very sure that Peter Obi, deep down in his heart, he knows that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing the right thing. But you see, sometimes you just need to keep pushing. You know, it's politics. You know, there's selfish interest, there's personal gains, there's followership, and I tell people, you see, obedience need to understand that there comes a time where you leave your pride, your ego, and you tell yourself the truth. What is on ground at the moment? What is happening in the country? How can we solve what is going on in the country? Look at this insecurity that we faced in the previous year. It has reduced. Insecurity has gone down. Are they going to say that they can't see that? I go, come on, let them be honest with themselves. Let them see our GDP. What's going on with our GDP rate? Let them take a look at the stock exchange. Let them see how Naira has stabilized. There's a whole lot to look at. Foreign investment that's coming into Nigeria. Even Cross River State. Let's say our state, for example, the foreign investment that's coming to our state. There's peace. I mean, it's not that we've had it sorted 100%, but we have reduced it to a very minimum level. So obedience needs to understand that. I mean, the church is always empty.
Yeah.
It's always ready to receive them. So we are always ready to receive. You see, there are a lot of obedience who have converted.
So what gives you that assurance that in 2027 January, Mr. President will be re-elected?
It's about consistency.
Okay.
He's been consistent. I mean, if you listen to the very popular Sekes new song, Consistency, Forgiveness, we forgive them, and we know that we've been consistent enough to forgive them, and we are happy to receive them. Now, 2027 is going to be a beautiful year. It's going to be a year where a lot of people would have given up on chasing shadows. By then, they would have received our newsletters. Their mothers would have received our newsletters. Their fathers would have received it. Their children would have received it in school. The imams would have received it in the mosque. All they need to do is read through it and see what we are talking about. What we are saying is that information, Nigeria is so big. And when you try to spread the right information, a lot of people truncate it in different quarters. But we're here to ensure that we go through the analog and digital route of spreading this information.
Great. Okay, so before we slide to yet another conversation, Dave, what hope are you giving to Nigerians as we get close to the election period?
Well, it depends on what you call hope, Joe. What I would say to Nigerians is that they are safe, their votes would count, and they would have dividends of democracy.
I love that. So
I will assure them.
So you are assuring Nigerians that they will enjoy dividends of democracy more?
They would continue to enjoy dividends of democracy.
Great. Okay, so now let's quickly look at something else before I let you go, Hakeem. On the 18th of May, 2018, okay, I think my producer is giving me a sign. Let's quickly take a short break, and when we are back, Weekend Politics will return. Don't go anywhere, stay with us. Okay, welcome back from that commercial break. It's still the Weekend Politics, and we're live here on CRBC TV Calabar. So before we went on that break, I started up a conversation, Dave, that on the 31st of May 2018, the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, had signed the Not Too Young to Run bill into law. And since then, we've seen several young guys stepping into the political array, to also let the world know that, look, they can, do a lot for the state or for the nation. Now, just what we saw, I want to lift it up from the APC in our state. The three young guys that gave an opportunity to fly the flag of the party at the State House of Assembly. Now, but Dave, before we get there, how would you assess the youth in Nigeria in terms of their political involvement from when this bill was signed into law about 8 years ago till now?
Well, Joe, when you talk about the youth, youths. It really does. It's something I'm very passionate about, and it's something that is a topic that hits my emotions deeply, right? And after that bill was signed, I strongly feel that a lot of work was not done to ensure that the youths get to participate as much as they should. I'm very grateful to our governor, Senator Apostle Prince Bassey II. He has shown that the opportunity that was given to him when he was younger, he's reciprocating that. You know, our governor was in the House of Reps at a young age before he transitioned to Senate, and now, you know, as a governor. I'm very happy that he's given people the opportunity to show what they have, and I would plead with him to create more opportunities for the young people. You see, the problem we have is that most politicians, once they get in there, they want to bring in their old friends. They want to bring in people who have, given one favor or the other to them, who has rendered one favor or the other, people who have been there for them. And they want to remember things that had, given way to their success, without looking inwards and looking strategically. Now we need to inculcate the attitude of political strategy. We need to implement that. Looking strategically rather, in the political arena, how we can set up young people who would take over in the next couple of years. And I'm happy that that's what our governor has shown in the primaries has happened. He has supported, he has encouraged, and he has been there for a lot of young people, to give them the opportunity, to give them that courage to show that they can do it. That yes, they can. Just like Obama would say, yes, I can. Yes, you can. He has shown. Let me look at his government. Joe, take you for example. A lot of young people who had no connections, had no, parental influence, had no uncles, no aunties. He saw the raw material, the raw craft in them, and said, "Hey, guy, come on board. You can do what you can. You have what it takes to get there." And he has put us there.
Great. Now let's look at some young guys just feel it's all about contesting elections. So do you feel that Nigerian youth are truly prepared for leadership and governance?
Joe, I think this is a very very important conversation. It's something that makes me laugh. I would have you please repeat that question again.
Okay.
I need the people to.
So we have a lot of young guys. They don't want to contest. How ready are they for leadership and governance?
Joe, let me fold my sleeves for this one. I will let the people watch me fold my sleeves, because this is. I know people are going to attack me after this, but I'm ready for this attack, Joe. Yes. I'm folding my sleeves for this one. No, I'll tell them. You see, it's not just about contesting for an elected position. I tell young people, what have you done to show yourself tested and proven? I mean, politics. When you come into politics, when you need finances. You need finances to make impact. You need finances to push what you've got to say. Even when you're going to look for a job, Joe, you need money to print your CV. You need money to go to the cyber cafe to put your things together. You need money to transport yourself there. You need money to look the part, because you go in there, they rate you on how you look, how you speak, what you have up in your head, and what certifications you come with. And well, after that, they look at your craft. So if you as a young person want to run for an elected position for office, apart from saying that you have a good heart, you mean well, what are you bringing to the table? How have you developed yourself? What have you done to contribute to your society? What have you done for your ward? What have you done for your local government? What have you contributed to your state? Joe, I'm not going to talk about myself. I know how far and wide I have gone to negotiate things for my local government, for to bring ideas to partner with people in the state. I know what I've done, but let's not talk about me here, because I'm not here to sell myself. But let's talk about the youth. What have you done? You can't just wake up and say, I want to run for elective office because you're popular on the streets. No, it's not about being popular because people like you. No, Joe, it's not about what people like in you. It's about what you're bringing to the table. What exactly you bring to the table? Young people, develop yourselves. Young people, work and make money. Because the problem is, when you don't have the right finances, when you're not satisfied and content with what you have, when you come into a political office, when you come into an appointed office, you would want to steal and run the place dry. And that is the problem we have in our country today. That's what we have. That's a problem we have with our youths. Youths who want to come and they're looking for juicy offices where they can steal, where they can make money off the government when they're meant to contribute to the people via the apparatus, via the office they've been given by the government, Joe. That's the problem.
Truly, I must say, David, you gave me a very honest answer because a lot of our guys are already now. Let's also look at quickly finance. In the course of talking, you had mentioned that.
Yeah.
Do you think finance is also a big challenge for youth in politics?
Yeah, I would say it has been a challenge. It has been a challenge for me. It has been a challenge for a lot of us because politics is expensive. It's a very expensive game to play. However, we need to understand that when there's a will, there's a way, right? When there's a will, there's a way. And I would appeal to our politicians, to our leaders, to our fathers, create the right environment. Change the narrative. Make people understand that it's not about money. It's not about what you can buy or what you can contribute to the political arena when it comes to running for an elected office. It's about the impact you make with and for your people. That's what it's about. You see, one thing people loved about our governor when he was a senator and when he was a House of Rep member, was speaker, he made impact. He touched lives. And for you to touch lives, you need the right finances to do that. That's why whenever he comes to run for an office, he doesn't need to spend money. People will just say, Sweet Prince Ndado, I'm standing right there. He doesn't need to give them money. In the last election, people came out, people doled up their wrappers on the floor and said, Sweet Prince, walk on it. People brought out their own money to say, I'm buying drinks, I am celebrating in advance because Senator Prince Bassey Diritu is my governor. People used their own personal funds to host meetings, to call meetings, because people believed in him, because he had touched lives. And that's what it's about. So when you do your own part as a young person in your community, in your local government, to touch lives, people would come to you saying, we need you to represent us. We need you to continue doing what you're doing for us. And that's the bone of contention. And that's what people need to run with.
Great. Now, Dave, let's quickly look at the youth leadership in Nigeria. Is it more of competence or social media popularity? A lot of people feel like once they are popular on social media that they can contest. Some begin to use the advocacy. They become comrades. They start doing, dragging the government, and next thing they're flaunting their posters. So is it more of competence or more on being social media popular?
So, Joe, I would tell you that, we need to go with the flow. We need to learn and unlearn. We need to learn new things and we need to unlearn old things. And the way things have evolved in the world today, social media, digital media cannot be outruled. We need to understand that it plays a very critical role in governance, in advertisement, in letting people know who you are and what you're made of. But the most important aspect is who you are. It is who you are from inward. Now, there are a few people out there who were very popular on social media, and just yesterday, Joe, I'm not going to mention any name, but you could see that on timelines they've been denied the party ticket for both House of Reps and Senate, and you can see that these people are people. See, politics is not done on social media. What social media does is only spreading the word to people who have access to social media. Now, don't forget that the people who are going to go vote for you, they barely have access to the phones. That's what it is. They barely have access. So you need to segregate between urban, the people who have access to the phones, and people in the rural areas. The people who stand on the queue to vote for you are the mothers, the sisters, the grandmothers, the daddies, the uncles. That it is radio they listen to. It is Nokia, this 3310 that they used to make calls. That's if they even have any. So social media is just a facade, to be honest, but it's also important. You can't rule it out. It is a necessary evil. So it's something that has to be there, And in Nigeria, we've not evolved to that, point where we can solely depend on, reaching people, only on social media, being able to, send your messages, to converse through the nooks and crannies of Nigeria only on social media. We've not gotten there yet, to be honest.
Okay, so finally on this, in Cross River State here, we've seen the consensus candidate. We see quite a lot of young people. We see Andre King, we see Joseph Edet, and Richard Romanus. What would be your talk to your message to other young Cross Riverians that look, there is still hope? We have 3 guys going into, this is very quite unprecedented, going into the State House of Assembly. What would be your message to other young Cross Riverians that are seeing this example led by His Excellency the Governor?
Well, I would say to young Cross Riverians, I would say these guys have paid their dues. These guys have burned the candlelights. These guys have been in the rain, they've been under the sun, they've been in the storm, and they have paid their dues, and they've done this consistently. They have done this, through thick and thin, without having money in their pocket. With having money in their pocket, they've done this. And I'm happy that His Excellency Senator Apostle Prince Basidoro II was able to identify these young men to ensure that they have the opportunity to represent their people. I mean, I was super happy to hear about Richie Romanus to start with. I was excited to hear about Andre King. Really excited. He's been a super guy. He's been a top notch. And talking about Joseph Edet, I was elated. Joseph has been consistent. Joseph and I, we've known each other right from the university, and he's always been consistent. He's grown, he's evolved, and he's one guy who you can always come to him and say, "Hey Joe, at any point in time, what time is it?" And he'll tell you it's time to hustle, it's time to grow, it's time to do the right thing. And I'm super happy that the governor had identified. There are a lot of other guys out there that the governor needs to look into, and I'm sure he will get around it in no time. And we're very confident that we're here as a youth, as an advocate for youth development. I'm very, very confident that His Excellency Senator Apostle Prince Basidoro II is going to pick more young people to train, to mentor, and to hand over the baton to as we go older, as we go through 2027.
Great. Okay, so before I let you go, let's quickly check through just some papers before we go. And to start, we'll look at the Sunday Sun. Sunday Sun, we see the big story there. Crisis looms over APC's make or break primaries. Said just one rather there, fear of parallel exercise, litigation, violence in Rivers, Ogun, Kano, others as potential losers. The primaries are up already. Dave, yesterday we saw here in Cross River State our own guys that will be going, those that are lucky to go back, to the green chambers, to those that will have to step aside for some other guys to also get there. We also have this other one on page 22, general elections, PS Lagos PDP chieftain spits fire. Okay, says opposition ready to drag President INEC boss to ICC. If polls results are compromised, you can find that just above the name plates there. But Dave, let's look at the primaries. We can never have a perfect process.
Mm-hmm.
Never have a perfect election. Even in the US, we saw, it was never perfect. It can never be perfect anywhere
Mm-hmm.
where we try to have elections. Okay, let's also look at yet another paper
Mm-hmm.
before we maybe we take just one or so, one more, and this. Okay. Let's take the one from the Sunday Vanguard, producer, just because of time. The one on Sunday Vanguard, we have above the nameplates there, APC reps, protests, violence, disqualifications, primaries. Now, let's see a few riders there. Say, Oshoba's son, Ibori's daughter, Obasa, Faleke, GNI, others win. They forgot to also add the son of Buhari. Yeah, he won also.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he won yesterday. The weakest men sweep rivers. Wow. I hear that he was allies disqualified. Then why we asked Fubara's loyalists. I think we just have to hang it. But truly, the battle is here. He was still very hot up there in Rivers State. But for a man like Wike who is on one side is in PDP, on the other side is in APC. So you call it the Rainbow Coalition. But Dave, I must really thank you that you've been able to, hang around us here for this while. So I think it's a wrap on the newspaper there. So you can come back on us here, guys. It's a wrap on the newspaper. Now, truly, I want to say thank you so very much. You are one gentleman that you're doing Cross River State very, very proud.
Thank you,
and
Joe.
you're doing Nigeria
Thank you.
very, very proud. Look forward to having you more on weekend politics. It's been a great time talking to David Hakim. David Hakim is the national director. Let me quickly get it here. Yeah, it's the national director of the Relax Tinubu is Fixing Nigeria. So thank you very much, Dave, and we look forward to some more engagement.
Thank you so much, Joe. Before you let me go, I'm just going to say one thing before I leave, and that would be to the young people out there. All right, if you can't make it this time, don't give up. Keep pushing. If you make, you get people who step on your toes, don't burn bridges. Don't get angry. Well, it's okay to get angry, but don't stay angry.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. Don't stay angry. Now, believe in Senator Prince Bassey too. Look at what he has done in this primaries. He has carefully, strategically picked people who he believes would be able to, bring the right resources, both, mental, physical, emotional resources to develop the state. I trust in him. I believe in him. I was an aspirant as well, but here I am speaking on, conversations that would lead to encouraging other people to, hold on the faith. And I would say, thank you, Your Excellency, for, your leadership, for your love, and for your transparency. We have not had it this good in a very long time, and we're very sure that, the youths in Cross River State would be, standing by you from now till whenever it is that you want to lead us for. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We love you.
Absolutely. Truly, we love you, Your Excellency. David Hakim, National Director, Strategy, Deployment and Implementation. Relax, Tinubu is Fixing Nigeria. Weekend Politics will come your TV screen next week Sunday, God willing. Till then, my name is Joseph. Yeah. Good night.